The man who hunted me in the forest of Oregon. I don't think I'll ever set foot in a forest again. What happened to me out there, it changed me. I'm still trying to convince myself that I survived. Sometimes, even now, I wake up in the middle of the night hearing footsteps that aren't there, or at least I hope they aren't. It happened last summer. I was going through a rough patch in my life, burned out, stressed, and honestly just tired of everything. I live in Eugene, Oregon, and I've always been a nature guy. So I figured a weekend alone in the woods might help clear my head. Just me, my backpack, and the sound of the trees. I picked a remote trail about 40 miles outside of the city. Not a popular one. That was the point. I didn't want to see anyone. I wanted isolation. I parked my car near the entrance, checked my gear, and started hiking early in the morning. The first few hours were peaceful. Birds, wind, nothing but the forest around me. Honestly, it felt good. I kept hiking deeper, setting a steady pace, planning to reach a small clearing I'd found on Google Maps to set up camp before sunset. But sometime around midday, something changed. It started with this weird silence. If you spent time in nature, you know what I mean. Suddenly, the birds stop. The wind feels heavier. You can't explain it, but you feel it. Like something's not right. At first, I figured maybe there was a predator nearby. A bear, maybe. Cougars are rare, but not impossible. So I kept moving, a little more alert, telling myself it was probably nothing. Then I heard it. Footsteps, heavy ones, snapping branches, coming from behind me. I stopped, listened, nothing, complete silence. I told myself it was paranoia. Could be an animal, could even be the forest messing with my head. I kept walking, but 10 minutes later, the footsteps again. Closer this time. And this wasn't some four-legged creature. These were human footsteps, slow, deliberate, trying to stay quiet but failing just enough for me to hear. I spun around several times, scanning the trees, but there was nothing, no movement, nothing but thick trees and shadows. I considered turning back, but then I thought, maybe it was another hiker. Maybe someone had parked nearby without me noticing, but I hadn't seen a single car, not one. That's when I noticed something that sent a chill down my spine. A branch snapped clean, mid-air, not fallen from above, broken, like someone had stepped on it, and below it, footprints, not boot prints, bare feet, human, wide, long, someone walking barefoot out here. That's when I knew someone was following me. I picked up the pace, fast, trying not to look like I was running but moving way faster than before. Every few minutes I'd stop, pretending to check my map, just to listen. And every time I stopped, the footsteps stopped too. I was being hunted. I don't know how far I walked like that an hour. Maybe more before I realized something worse. There were traps. Not hunting traps, not for animals. I noticed one when I almost walked into it. A thin wire tied between two trees at ankle height, hidden under leaves and branches. If I tripped it, I would have been impaled by sharpened wooden stakes dug into a pit just beyond the trail. I nearly vomited. Who the hell sets a trap like that out here? I started shaking. Panic was hitting me like a wave. I pulled out my Fanino signal. Of course, out here, there was nothing, no one. I doubled back, retracing my steps toward the trailhead. My brain was screaming, get the hell out. But then I saw him. At first, just a glimpse between the trees. A man, pale skin, dirty, no shoes, wearing torn pants and nothing else. His face was wrong. Filthy, scratched. But what really froze me was the smile. Wide, unblinking. He stood perfectly still, just watching me. I froze. We locked eyes for maybe 5 seconds before he tilted his head like a dog trying to understand something. Then he stepped behind a tree and vanished. I ran, full sprint, no looking back. My lungs were burning, my legs cramping, but I didn't care. Every now and then I'd hear him, branches snapping. A laugh, I swear to God, I heard him laughing. At one point, I stumbled into another trap. A wire caught my leg, yanking it sideways. Luckily, It wasn't connected to anything lethal, just some sort of alarm system made with cans and metal objects that clattered loudly. That's when I heard him scream, a wild, inhuman noise, like rage mixed with excitement. He was close. I ran until I couldn't anymore. I don't know how long. My body just shut down. I collapsed behind a fallen tree, trying to stay quiet. I pressed myself against the dirt, barely breathing. That's when I saw him again. He walked right past me, less than 20 feet away. His eyes were scanning the trees. He had something in his hand, a knife, long, rusted. He whispered something, over and over. I see you, but he didn't. Not this time. I stayed there, hidden, for what felt like hours. Eventually, the sounds faded. I waited until the sun was almost gone before I forced myself to move. I don't know how, but I found my way back to the main trail. And after what felt like forever, I saw my car. I've never run so fast toward anything in my life. I drove like a maniac until I hit a gas station with a phone. I called the sheriff, reported everything. They sent officers out there, but of course, they didn't find him. They found the traps, the footprints, but no guy, no trace of him. The deputy told me this wasn't the first time someone had reported weird things in that part of the forest. People disappearing, strange noises, a few bodies over the years. Never solved. I don't know who he was, some hermit, a serial killer living off the grid, or maybe someone who just likes hunting humans for sport. I don't have answers, but I do know this. If I had tripped one of those traps, or if I hadn't hidden in time, I wouldn't be here telling you this story. I've never been back, and I never will.